Welcome to the pilot episode for the Nomads of the North podcast. I'm your host, Brittany, an amateur everyday historian who's obsessed with the Viking Age. Honestly, it's not just the Viking Age. I'm really interested in European history in general, but especially early European history. And there are a few reasons for that. One, I love that area of the world. I've been traveling myself internationally for over 10 years now, and there's something about the northern and northwestern European countries that just keep calling me back. I love the weather. I actually do love the rain and the snow and the cold. I love the dramatic landscapes, the fjords of Norway, the forests of Sweden. I love the architecture of Denmark and all of the history there. In fact, I'll never forget it. On our first Euro trip, my sister and I went together. I knew I had to go to the Viking Ship Museum in Roskilde, and this was back in 2016. So this is something I've loved and thought about for a long time, but honestly, the interest goes back even farther than that. My mom is also obsessed with Viking history, and just with the movement of people in general, I've always found that particularly interesting. Where they went, why they went, when they decided to go, when they decided to raid versus settle. I just find all of this so fascinating. And another big reason that I'm starting this podcast, blog, and brand now is because as of when I'm recording this, we have a growing problem with how migration and immigration is seen, talked about, and handled. And my hope is that by helping us look backward into the past and seeing how that connects to all of us in the present, because there is this misconception that Viking history is only something that people of Northern European descent would be interested in. I can also see how someone like myself saying that would add into that. But the truth is, Vikings weren't just white. And I can't wait to dive more into that one. And if we look at the impact, the widespread migration of the Vikings during that time and beyond, we can see how language, landscape, and even land borders have shifted and been changed over time due to everything that took place during the Viking Age. I'm also somewhat of a nomad myself, although these days we might call ourselves digital nomads, part-time digital nomads, which just means we travel often. That's relatively new when you consider how wide of a scale it is that people travel now. That was not how it was back in the Viking era, and I can't wait to dive into that topic specifically, how Viking went from being a profession of only the few to a lifestyle of many. Another reason I wanted to start this podcast is, in addition to my own interest in travels, I also host tours and group trips and retreats in these destinations, and I want to have something beyond just a surface level knowledge. So as I pursue deeper knowledge and as I have these conversations with storytellers, professors, experts, and other enthusiasts, then you can learn and grow in this knowledge with me. I really see Nomads of the North as being so much more than just a podcast. I really see it as a type of lens. It's a way of looking at the world, and it's a place where we can ask, how do people adapt when they leave one land for another? What does home mean when it's not fixed? Can you have more than one home? And what do these stories that we see in the Poetic Edda, for example, relate to us today? I definitely expect for this blog and brand and this podcast to grow and evolve over time as I learn and grow and evolve as a human, but also as a scholar and a historian myself. I do consider myself an amateur historian. You could even say your everyday historian, but I think our views should change and grow over time, at least for some things. And my hope is that through this practice of sharing my thoughts evolving over time with you, maybe even having my own beliefs and knowledge challenged on the podcast and seeing how I respond to it, hopefully with grace and kindness at all times, that you can be inspired to do the same. And that we can start with what are maybe not so hard conversations with people and expand to even talking to people passionately about topics we believe in with people who disagree with us. I really do believe in making history personal. So in every single episode, you'll hear us connecting the past to the present and to the future. We're covering topics like community, gathering, family, culture, and belonging, while also nerding out about all of the interesting things that happened during the Viking era. Format-wise, I'm still figuring it out. And hopefully you'll just be along for the ride as that unfolds, but we'll definitely be doing a few things here. We'll have a mix of solo episodes where I'm busting myths and diving deep into a topic where I answer a frequently asked question. We'll have storytellers on who bring these hard to read documents and stories to life in language that we can understand. We'll have conversations with people who live in these places that you can actually visit today, so you can hear from them. Where should you go when you visit? What is worth seeing? How can you see the connection between past and present when you visit these places. And with every guest, we'll be exploring how the Viking Age and era has affected them personally. I'm very, very excited for that bit. If what you've heard is interesting and you're into seeing what happens and what unfolds in the future, I'd love for you to go ahead and hit like. Thank you for doing that in advance. It just shows YouTube and these other platforms that we're doing a good job. And go ahead and subscribe or follow wherever you're watching or listening so you can get future episodes and notifications of when there's new content available. And if you'd really like to follow along and get some behind the scenes stuff that doesn't go on to the episodes, definitely check out our Substack in the description below. I'd also love to hear from you. You can drop your own questions here in the comments if you're watching or listening on a platform that allows that, or you can send me an email, Brittany@nomadsofthenorth.com. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll talk to you again soon in the next episode.